There's a very specific kind of silence that exists in abusive homes, not peaceful silence. The kind where every small sound feels dangerous, where footsteps can mean trouble, where a door closing too loudly can ruin your entire night. In our house, mornings were the worst, because mornings meant my father's lunch had to be ready. And what he never knew was that sometimes his lunch came with revenge inside it. If you've ever grown up feeling powerless in your own home, stay with me. This story isn't about dramatic fights or heroic moments. It's about survival and the tiny rebellions that keep you sane. I grew up in a rusted factory town called Millridge. Gray skies, gray buildings, gray moods. My father worked long shifts at a steel plant. When he came home, he carried more than exhaustion. He carried frustration, bitterness, and an anger that always needed somewhere to land. He never hit us, but sometimes words can bruise deeper than fists. As a kid, I learned to read the sound of his keys in the door. Fast keys meant bad mood. Slow keys meant maybe we could breathe. My siblings and I would scatter like mice. Homework suddenly became urgent. TV volume dropped instantly. My mom would rush into the kitchen, reheating food even if it was already hot. We weren't living. We were preparing for reactions. At school I was quiet, not because I had nothing to say, but because my energy was already spent surviving at home. Friends complained about strict parents, curfews, chores. I nodded, pretending I understood. But they didn't know what it felt like to measure every word before speaking, or how resentment slowly grows like mold in a dark room. Every night, the same ritual. 2 sandwiches, snack cakes, crackers, soda. If my mother forgot, he would explode verbally, not screaming immediately. No, he would start with sarcasm, then guilt, then accusations, and finally silence that made everyone uncomfortable. One winter night, my mom fell asleep at the table, her head resting beside the mustard bottle. Something inside me snapped. Not violently. Quietly, I made the sandwiches. Then slowly with trembling hands, I drew a crude symbol on the bread, a childish protest, a secret insult. My heart was pounding so loudly I thought it would wake him. But the next day he ate it and complained about traffic instead. That was the moment I realized I had power. From then on, whenever I packed his lunch, there was always something hidden, sometimes tiny, sometimes bold. Each drawing felt like reclaiming a piece of myself. He still controlled the house, still drained the joy from dinner conversations. But he never controlled that secret. That was mine. Years later, after moving out, after therapy, after distance, I told my mom. We were sitting in a sunlit kitchen. No tension, no fear. She laughed so hard she cried. Then she whispered, I used to do things too. For the first time, I understood. We weren't petty. We were coping. Revenge isn't always about hurting someone. Sometimes it's about surviving long enough to leave. Those sandwiches didn't fix our home, but they helped me endure it. And sometimes endurance is victory. If this story made you feel seen, like the video. Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe, because the next story might be even more powerful.